This is what suffering looks like. And I know it may not look like it, but this is actually a FNAF style game, and a really hard one at that. But this game is a secret game, so let's take it all the way back to see how we even got here in the first place. This game is Find the Alalal, and if you play Roblox, you might be familiar with these kinds of scavenger hunt type games. So in this game, you have to find the Alalals. You see what I did there? And an Alal is like this little freaky emoji, but this game has literally hundreds of these Alals to collect, and each Alal has their own difficulty in the form of a number from 1 to 10. And if you actually play this game, I know what you're about to say. Actually the highest difficulty is actually 12, blah blah blah. And while that's true, there's only like 17 Alals out of the 600 or something that even reach over the 10 difficulty mark in the first place, so chill on me. And you know what makes that even worse? The fact that Alal Night is one of those ungodly 17. Okay, so if we want to get here, we have to head to Cat Island, which is right in front of spawn. And if you scale the house, at the back you'll find a broken window that leads to the attic. And in here we can speak to Alalal. And if you ask him about Alal Night, he'll give you the link to the game on his computer. You could also just skip all of those steps and just search Alal Night on Roblox, but whatever. Okay, let's get back to the good stuff. Now we're here in Alal Night, and this game has a bunch of different challenge nights, but the one we're after is Alal Night, you know, the name of the game. Now what I want you to remember is that individually, all of these Alals are pretty simple to deal with. The real difficulty comes in the sheer quantity of Alals to deal with, okay? First, we'll talk about every Alal that doesn't require the use of the camera. Basic Alal. At some point in the night, it'll appear at your right window, and all you have to do is click it for it to go away. Baby Alal. This one sits in your room the whole night. Over time, it'll slowly get upset and start violently shaking. And all you have to do is click it and it'll reset back to normal. Alternate Alal. At some point in the night, it'll appear outside your front window. And to get rid of him, you just have to turn off your lights. And before you think it's sweet, next we have Harold here. And he wants you to have your lights on. So we really got a dynamic duo here. Next, we have Ultralal. Randomly, twice a night, it'll jump scare you in your room. And to get rid of it, you have to shock it. At the bottom left of the screen, you can find the shock button. And after clicking it, you can see a menu that lets you shock all the cameras, control panel, and your office. So when Ultralal appears, just shock your office to make it go away. Real reaction. If you remember how basic Alal functioned, which I doubt, then this one is the exact same. Real reaction will show up at your left window. And again, just click it for it to go away. Abandoned Doll Alal. Every once in a while, this Alal will appear, and you can only see it when the lights are off. But if you see it, click it for it to go away. This Alal makes no sound too, so you just have to check the dark every once in a while to make sure it's not about to end your night. Wikipedia Alal. Bro, I don't even know what these words are anymore. Throughout the night, random pop-ups will appear on the screen, and all you have to do is click cancel for them to go away. Smiler Alal. Sometimes when you drop the camera, it'll appear in the window in front of you. And just like everything else in this game, you gotta click it for it to go away. Vine Boom Alal. Vine Boom Alal plays Vine Boom, and it'll also block your screen for a little bit, and is very annoying. And finally, we have Mimic Alal. For a third of the night, this little freak will completely flood the room and block most of your vision. And there's nothing you could really do about it. You kinda just gotta deal with it and pray it doesn't mess with your flow. Okay, let's pause for a second, cause I know that was a lot. After hearing all that, I feel like you could probably understand why this night is so hard now. But just remember that I only spoke about the Alals that don't require the use of the camera. So just wait, cause we only just getting started. But hold up, here's a fun fact. Apparently, only 90 people, including myself, have actually beat this night. And I mean, I don't know how many people watching this are capable of beating this night, but hey, you could be one of the first 100 people to beat it. There's 10 slots left. I'm just saying. Now, let's get into the camera Alals. In this game, we have 11 different cameras and a control panel. We move Scarlet Persecutor Alal. It'll slowly start creating flames in camera 4. And you can't let the fire get out of control, so you have to click this ice button to cool it off. This is one of these Alals that you have to constantly check on throughout the night. Virus Alal. Randomly, throughout the night, you'll hear a sound that kinda sounds like the Windows error sound. When this happens, Virus Alal will highlight the camera that it's on, and you have to click it to make it go away. Angler Alal. It starts in camera 9 and it'll make its way towards your room. If you shock it anywhere, it'll go back to its starting position. I personally would wait for it to come all the way to my room before shocking it, because with everything else going on, I can't afford to spend precious time looking around for where this fish is at. Basics Alal. This game got jokes, huh? We got both these basics in Alal night now. You have to answer 5 of these math questions correctly before the night ends. And yeah, the math looks simple, but just remember that every single other Alal is after you at the exact same time. Like, this simple math gets stressful real quick. Neutron star Alal. Randomly throughout the night, you'll hear a laser sound. When this happens, you need to go to camera 6. And if you see a blue light there, then you need to shock that camera. But if you see a red light, make sure not to shock it. Alien Alal. Also in camera 6, Alien Alal will display a number for you. At the top right of your screen, you can see 2 timers, one counting down and the other counting up. Now, Alien Alal needs to be clicked when the timer counting up reaches its display number. And this one is a night ender if you're not paying attention. It's pretty lenient though, like you get a 10-second window, but even still. Jalal. This is actually the same dude from the beginning of the video, but in Alal night, it sits on camera 4 in the same room as the Scarlet Persecutor Alal, and also requires you to click the ice button in the room to keep its temperature cool. Letters Alal. Sometimes when looking through different cameras, it can appear and completely flood your view. Of course, to get rid of it, you have to click on it, or you could just ignore it and swap to a different camera. Casino Alal. I hope you enjoy gambling. On camera 11, there's a red button, and throughout the night, you have to keep clicking on the red button over and over again until you eventually get the jackpot. If you fail to do so before the end of the night, then it'll end your run. So unfortunately, gambling is a necessity. True and false Alal. They'll appear consistently every 60 seconds on camera 5. And when you see them, you have to click True Alal, which is the white one. So on top of literally every other Alal I explained already, you have to stare at the timer to make sure you don't miss your 60 seconds. Definitely not the Alal I died to the most. Pixel Alal. This one will appear on your TV and make a static noise. When this happens, you have to go on camera 8 and click the black button on this Game Boy, and that'll make it go away. Hyena Alal. You'll find it on camera 3, and throughout the night, Hyena Alal will slowly advance forward and eventually end your night if it gets too far. But to prevent it from moving, you have to press the button next to it to reset its timer. And finally, the last 4 Alals: Easy, Difficult, Extreme, and Ancient Alal. These Alals all function the exact same. On the control panel, you'll see this little grid with 4 close buttons over it. And on this grid, you'll find all 4 Alals here in their respective colors. They'll slowly make their way over to the right side of the grid. And you'll need to close each of them off so they don't escape the grid. And that's every Alal explained in this night. As you can imagine, this night is hard. After many attempts, I ended up breaking all the Alals down into different categories. The first one was the button clickers, like Hyena Alal, Jalal, and the control panel Alals. And those are already hard enough as it is, you know, making sure you don't ruin your night because you forgot to click a button. But then there's the next category, the timer Alals, which are specifically true and false Alal and the alien Alal. Because not only do you have to keep track of the timer in intervals of 60 seconds, but you also have to remember what number alien Alal needs to be pressed on. And then there's the Alals that you have to deal with before the night ends, like Casino Alal and Basics Alal. And speaking of basics, bro, I felt like it was impossible to do all the math questions while having to fight a legit army of Alals. My solution was to spam solve all the math questions at the start to try to get it all out the way before any other Alal even has a chance of attacking me. And same thing with the Casino Alal. After like 2 days of attempts, I got this run that you guys have been watching in the background. So finally, after beating this night, let's go back to where it all began and press Jalal for my prize. And there it is, Alal night. Hours spent grinding the freaky emoji game for a slightly cooler freaky emoji. Time well spent. But for fun, let's talk about a secret Alal. And it also happens to reside in Alal night. Now remember how I was saying this game has a bunch of other preset nights with their own difficulties? Well, what if there's a new one, a hidden one? If you only set Angler Alal's difficulty to 1 and start the night, you'll be thrown into the secret night, Fun Alal night. And it's named that because completing it will give you the Fun Alal. But as you can see, this night is unique because you actually have to complete an obby, which seems simple on paper until you realize that the spacebar that you usually use to, you know, jump opens up the camera system instead. So this obby is unfortunately jumpless. And if that wasn't awkward enough, this night still functions as a regular night, meaning that there's still other Alals actively trying to end your night. And fortunately for us, these are all the Alals we already spoke about. And the obby isn't very long either, so if you can't beat Alal night, you can probably beat this one easily. So all in all, what we learned today is that Roblox never fails to impress me when it comes to the most random FNAF games actually being pretty hard. I don't even know if there's like a world where you took away something from this video, but I appreciate you for watching all the way to the end because these videos really take me forever and a half to make. But with all that being said, I'm gone. Save.